Hey tubers, I'm going to get comfortable for this. I'm going to show you how I blanch and freeze my squash, my zucchini. Actually, this is some summer squash and zucchini. I kind of work those together. So I'm going to show you what we do. Basically, we take these rascals and we cut off about an inch from each end. Well, maybe an inch from the stem end and a 1/4 inch from the flower end, and then we'll chop these things into 1/4 inch pieces. And I can't do this with this in my hand, but I'll show you what it's like as I go along, as I'm halfway through these things. So I'll show you in just a sec. Okay, as you can see, I'm cutting the ends off. It's about an inch off of that end and maybe a 1/2 inch off of the flower end. And each one of these I'm cutting into about a 1/4 inch slice. Now once you get your zucchini, if you start looking at these seeds, you want to make sure you don't get let the zucchinis get too big. These are actually a little bigger than I like them. I actually like them more like this. If you see what I'm talking about there, the difference. These, if you don't watch it, they'll get kind of hard, and the seeds will be too big and too hard. But this particular Black Beauty zucchini has very few seeds in it to begin with, and you can allow those to get just a little bit bigger. But that's what that looks like so far, and I'll show you what we're getting ready to do with them once I'm completed with this cutting them up. Alright, I have my bowl of zucchini and summer squash all cut up. Like I said, some of that's pretty big, but it'll be good. What you want to do is you want to get your water going. It's hard to see how deep that is, but if you look at there, it's about, I don't know, a couple inches deep and about a 12-inch pot. I like to get that water to a rolling boil and before you stick your zucchini in it. And just so you know, I'm going to start off by showing you how to do the zucchini, because I have yellow squash to do today also. They're the same. I do them the same way. Both of those are in the same family, and you blanch them for the same amount of time. Both yellow squash, zucchini, gray squash, cocozelle, all that you're going to blanch for 3 minutes. And that's after it comes back to a boil. So as soon as this comes to a boil, I will show you where we go from there. It'll probably be with the yellow squash though. Hey tubers, I am freezing yellow squash, and you cut these just the same way you do the zucchini from my previous video. You cut them into about 1/4 inch slices. You wash them real good, and you start your water and get it to a rolling boil, and you put it in the rolling boil, and it should start to boil about 1 minute again. After you put it in there, it takes about a minute for it to start boiling again. You start counting your time from that minute, the minute that water starts boiling again, and you set your timer for 3 minutes. We have 55 seconds left, and once this hits 3 minutes, we're going to set it out to cool, and I'll show you how I do that. Okay tubers, the water is done. It's been boiling for 3 minutes. Now I'm going to cool it off. I've got a strainer set up here in my sink. I'll show you that. Sorry. And I'm just going to pour this into the strainer and let it begin to cool. So let's see if I can get this in here where you can see it. We'll let it drain really, really good so that as I freeze it, it won't stick together. Let it drain here, and then I'll show you what I do with it. Okay, tubers, what we're going to do is we're going to set this onto this, get these cookie sheets set up here, And I'm going to place all the squash one piece at a time onto this cookie sheet. Kind of keep them separate. And I'm going to place those, once they're filled, into the freezer and let them freeze. And by the way, typically I would have wax paper, but I don't have any wax paper. But there's this, I have this non-stick aluminum foil, and I put it down so that when after it's frozen, you can kind of bend it and whatever to get the squash off of there. The little hard hockey puck like squash patties, so to speak, and you can put those into the food saver, and they're already frozen, so they won't stick together when you draw the air out and put them in there. And so when you get ready to eat it, they're not one big giant clump of squash. But anyway, I'm gonna finish doing this, and alrighty, got them all panned up. You'll see I kind of tried to leave some space. They're touching a little bit, but it's not going to be a problem. They'll all come apart nicely. But what you want to do is you want to take those pans and sit them as level as you can into the refrigerator. Let me put this one on the top. That way they'll freeze properly, and you won't have all of them sliding down, bunching up at one side. So we'll set the timer. I have no idea. Actually, let's try 45 minutes. I will check back in 45 minutes. Okay, tubers, it has actually been about an hour and 20 minutes since I put these in the freezer. And what we're going to do is we're going to make some bags and get these little frozen jewels put up. I'm going to put this one back in there until we get to it. But this is how I do it. Sorry about that. I actually use this. Pull out a bag, cut it, and then seal it with this food saver. That creates my bag. And that little light goes off like that. That means it is sealed. You'll see there's a little line across there. It's a sealed bag. So what I'm going to do is add the yellow squash to it, and I want to see if I can't stand this up so you can see it as I go. So hopefully you can see that. Just going to start filling this up with the yellow squash. Once it stick, I can move that foil and break it loose. You want to try and get this done quick enough that they don't start to thaw out. If they start to thaw out, they'll start to stick. So obviously, the quicker you are, the better this is going to turn out when you get ready to use it again. Got to leave enough room in the bag for it to seal. It's got to draw the air out with the food saver. Let's see what's down here. It actually looks like that's about right. So, this. Let's see, you got the food saver bag. You have to tuck it in this little trough here, and that's what pulls the air out. You have to have enough room to keep your squash below that line and have enough of the bag to stick in that little slot. Push the button, let it draw this up. That's pulling all the air out. And now it should turn off up there once the seal is completely made. There you go. And that's how I freeze my squash and zucchini. Thanks. Y'all go play in the dirt so you can play in the kitchen. God bless.